one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We remain standing and remember our men and women in the armed forces across the world. Amen. Thank you. Public comment on agenda items. Okay. Can we turn it down? Sorry. Thank you. I think that's good, thanks. Okay. Bills and claims for fiscal year 2024 and 2025, $152,119.49. May I have a motion to pay bills and claims?
So moved.
Second. You have it, Heidi?
Yep.
Roll call.
Trustee Guerrero?
No.
Trustee Ramos?
Yes.
Trustee Carroll?
Yes.
Trustee DeSalvo?
Yes.
Mayor D'Onofrio?
Yes, thank you so much. Motion carries. Could we accept the minutes? They've been prepared by our clerk, and I reviewed them. Maybe some of you also did, but can we approve the minutes as they were written?
Make a motion, we approve the minutes.
Second by Pete Carroll. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Comments, mayor's comments, just two quick things. I want to read a prepared statement that I did today. Pertains to the sanitation department. Today I want to take a moment to recognize the outstanding efforts of our sanitation department. Your commitment to keeping our streets clean, safe, and beautiful is nothing short of remarkable. Whether it is during the heat of the summer, the cold of the winter, or in the aftermath of storms, you show up every day with dedication and pride in your work. The role you play in maintaining the health and well-being of our community cannot be overstated. Thanks to your tireless efforts, our village remains a place where we're proud to call home. On behalf of the residents of the Village of Highland Falls, I extend my deepest gratitude to every member of the sanitation team for your essential work you do. Your excellence sets the standards for all of us. Again, thank you. And my last comment, and I believe the building department liaison will expound later on building department report. But a week ago today, Trustee DeSalvo and I met with the new building department part-time person. Councilman Sullivan brought him by the Village Hall. We met him, talked for just a little bit, and then Richie wanted to get him on the road to go and look at some open permit requirement places, i.e. Park Restaurant, of course, being one of them. So it was a good meeting, and we'll have a follow-up on particulars that the village is looking for him to take notice. And because of Phil Hannawall being out, which we wish him nothing but the best, and for him to come back, they are in the process of this week hiring a second part-timer until they figure out the Phil or however the town wants to run the department. So soon there'll be 2 part-time employees in the building department, which is good. They're very, very busy, if you go by this report that I received today. So that'll be talked about later on during the meeting. Scenic Hudson. Scenic Hudson's here to go over some charts that you see up here. We've been working on this for 2 years. I think, close to it,
Over, yes.
over it. I've had fun, actually. It's a very interesting project. The community is going to love it. Like you've heard me say this to a lot of people, when you go down there, the first thing that you're going to say, wow. The vistas, the vegetation, the trees, the plants, the bugs that are special. Some of them you don't know why they're here because they're not supposed to be here. Is remarkable. So we'll have interpretation signs and all of that. But tonight's your night, okay?
Thank you, village trustees, for listening to me present today. Let me know if you can hear me well
Yep.
enough. Okay. My name is, can you hear me? Okay. My name is Heather Blakey. I'm Senior Park Planner with Scenic Hudson, and it's been a pleasure and an honor to work with Mayor and a committee of residents as the trail committee. First, conceiving the future use of the former ALO property since 2020. First is an initial nature trail, and the idea evolved with planning and further site investigation, how much of a benefit and real gem to the community that this opportunity provides. We've had a lot of success already. We've had a grant that supported natural resource inventory, which found out about all these unique animals and vegetation and bugs. Some are very unique to just the Hudson Highlands, so it's a very great way to see that these are thriving here in this little pocket preserve. We've also,
Sorry, I don't think the people in the back can hear you. We can hear you.
okay,
Heather, you just,
I don't
I think
know
you just
what
have to
it
get
is.
closer to it.
okay, sorry about that.
That's it.
No.
There you go.
So let me know. Everyone good here?
Yeah.
Thank
You
you.
just have to get closer.
Excuse me. So we've had a lot of success. We've identified kind of a lot of the features that this preserve has. Many of you may know that it's the former estate, part of the original estate of Stephen Rowe, who was a steamboat captain, and then his son later, General Charles Francis Rowe, a graduate of West Point, who's significant to this area. So there's a lot to be. The ruins are still there on the estate, the former estate, which consisted of a farmhouse and caretaker's house, and what used to be some greenhouses that led to some local horticultural commercial business here. A lot of the habitats, there's a lot of rock ledge, the terrain is cliffs, it's also plateaus, so it provides a very unique sample of the Hudson Highlands from a walkable journey, even from the heart of the village. It's about 6 minutes, so it's an asset that the residents and the visitors to the village can really benefit from. We've planned a 0.7 mile trail, so it's not an arduous, lengthy trail, but it really gets you immersed immediately into the canopy, away from Main Street, the busyness, and it offers views of the Hudson River. There's some pictures here that just provide just a quick snapshot of what could be found on site and what can be seen from the trail. On the lower panel here, as you can see on the top panel, it's kind of a bookend to the Rowe Park, which was also from the original Rowe estate. So it's interesting to have this juxtaposition, active recreation, but also this will be an opportunity for passive recreation. We also see it as a way for teachers, educators, families to come here. It's not breakneck ridge, so it's not your kiddie thrill, but it's a meaningful place with interpretive signage at the site, with trailhead that can point the direction to the trail from Havens Road. This could be a really nice outing, an extension of a walk around Main Street, an easy addition to someone's daily life, which is very important when we all need some extra space mentally. So on the upper left panel here is an image. North is pointed to the right. So Main Street is just at the top of the panel. Havens Road comes down and it will curve. And just at the intersection of the marketplace and the village property is where we're gonna tuck in a small trailhead for 2 cars. And we're gonna work this with a lot of volunteers, a training crew. It's called the Jolly Rovers Trail Crew. They're gonna help train volunteers and build in some steps that go up the incline to an overlook, which is just behind my town marketplace. And that's where you can really see, especially with tree leaf off, that's where we want to have a day use area, benches and some picnic tables where people can simply go there and relax, walking from Main Street, getting a bite along the way, and then continue on their way down the trail. We don't show the entire trail system in this map, but it's really the trailhead that's the critical point to this a very successful partnership with the village. We feel this is a really essential, another benefit to the village as a way to complement the economy, as a driver, also as an asset that's attractive to residents here, new and old or future. It's really accenting, it's reinforcing a desire to have a walkable destination. We have West Point. This could really be a draw because of the General Row history here. An asset that could really attract some visitors and tourists from that end of the village. So what we've also been in partnership with the village is applying for Hudson River Valley Greenway Grant. We worked really well with the grant writer, and we had an astounding call for a letter of support. We received an amazing amount. I think we were impressed with the turnout.
Yeah.
And we're waiting to hear what that grant will deliver. We've asked for some support to build the trail, the steps, purchase the benches and the picnic tables, support the signage, and also do some new aggregates and trail building materials that can really make this place fit together with the puzzle. So Scenic Hudson is supporting half that grant match. The village has put in their support for labor, time spent working on this project with us, and also possibly some aggregate materials as well. And we've also been preparing different agreements and one with the village and one with my town marketplace. It's actually Econ Centers, is the landowner, to allow us, Scenic Hudson property doesn't go all the way to Havens Road. There's about 100 feet, maybe 200 feet, the rest of the way to Havens Road with an agreement for a trail access. We can make that happen. So we prepared a public access agreement, and the initial letter of understanding will allow the village to continue go into contract, and we can close in April. Scenic Hudson's Land Trust Board meets next week, and that letter is a perfect tool to have that as a basis of understanding so that we can move forward into final agreement. We've also worked with the village to figure out maintenance and management. A lot of the day-to-day, you're out in Poughkeepsie and New Paltz. So we're asking the village, we prepared an agreement which we will determine effective upon completion of improvements for a stipend that we're considering with the board that they will approve next week. So all that to say, we're really excited that this is moving forward. We've heard from a lot of residents that they want to help join the volunteer effort. We're before the planning board, so there's a lot of things happening. The planning board's public hearing is March 20th, so that will be another time I'll be presenting details of the project as well. So the public is welcome to attend, of course, or write comments, feedback. We have spoken with some of the first responders, solicited feedback for emergency response plan. So we're really covering our bases here. We really want to make this work. I think it's all coming together. And with all that successfully happening, we're hoping to participate in an Earth Day, the first kind of volunteer Earth Day event. I think it's April 26th is the Earth Day weekend at the village. And the Environmental Advisory Committee, I think the full name, will be hosting at the library. We'll have this off-site event at the trailhead, so that's April 26th, a Saturday. I will sit down and unless the trustees have any questions.
My question is, I would take care of this now.
I would suggest that you do, because the next meeting with the planning board is the 20th of March. And this is, they're asking for the village to sign a memorandum of understanding that simply says there'll be an easement. It kind of outlines, as you'll see in your packet, very straightforward. I did look at it some time ago, and I didn't have any comments at all. It does say that you're intending to provide an easement, which the board has been talking about for the last couple of years, so that the public can get to the park. That easement, I did offer comments, very straightforward. And that's something the board can look at. But tonight, and then of course there's the management agreement, which the board has looked at several times. We've gone back and forth there.
We're almost there.
Yeah, I only had one comment on that. So I think to further the project in front of the planning board, either at this meeting or no later than the next meeting, the board should go ahead and authorize you to sign this memorandum of understanding. It's not binding, it's merely a memorandum of understanding.
I'd like to do it tonight, but go ahead, Pete.
Heather, I've got a question. I grew up right next to the property and everything, and it only looks to me like
Nobody can hear you. Sorry, what is, Pete?
I grew up right next to the property there, and I was in the woods probably every day after school for many years. And, you know, I know the landscape real well. But it looks like you're only gonna utilize about 1/3 of that aloe property. Are you, have any future intentions of going deep down to the south of that? You know, on the other side of where the old greenhouses were?
So right now, yeah, so there's the full trail plan, which has kind of two little lollipop trails connect together. For right now, because some of the ruins, they need to be evaluated further and for stabilization, but we would like to kind of have a second trail that can come down so that people can actually look at them. It's another way of looking at the river, of course. But that's as far south as it will go, so that'll be like 2/3 of the property. The first phase will be the trailhead, which is kind of the biggest step to get people walking the land. And this doesn't show the full 0.7 mile trail, but yes, I would say this first phase is about 1/3 to roughly that of the property.
Pete, I had asked and strongly, if I could say that, we'll use that word, that we stay away from the brick ruins at this point,
Right. We would love to do that in a future time after we've looked at and maybe even stabilized, done some work on those ruins so they're not a hazard.
And there's a good portion south of that too.
South of there,
About 1/3.
so south of there, there's a lot of rock ledge, where there's a lot of the sensitive habitat that we don't want to disturb because it's easily trampled, and it's lost that way, through trampling or people wandering off the trail. So we've limited how much trail there is going to be developed in the long term. Also, you know, we've offered through the trail itself, what we are putting together, there's not much difference. It's more of the same, in other words. So we are offering some views, and we felt that we're balancing, you know, protection of the plants and offering views of the Hudson River at the same time. So that way it's fully functional in that sense.
Thank you.
I had some questions. Sorry, thank you. I think similar questions that Mr. Carroll had. How many acres did Scenic Hudson actually acquire?
31.8.
31 acres, okay? And this is, Scenic Hudson is a nonprofit,
Yes, that's right.
okay? And you bought it how many years ago?
2020.
2020, so 5 years ago, okay? With the intention of turning it into a park,
Yes.
okay? And then the park that you have in mind is less than a mile long, right? And I think that's what
Yeah.
Mr. Carroll was asking, well, what are you gonna do with the rest of the 31 acres? Okay, so this 31 acres is on premium property. It's a river view, riverfront. It's actually currently a residential zoned property. Several questions about that. You know, as a nonprofit, did you take it off of the tax rolls,
Yes,
this
it's already-
31 acres?
It's already been off the tax roll.
Okay, so for the past 5 years, Scenic Hudson has not been paying any taxes on this property?
That's right.
Okay, all right. And when you say, and I remember last month, we approved that you would apply for a grant to develop the property into a park, as you're speaking right now. So this grant is written, are our grant writers, the village grant writers, writing to apply for the grant, or are you guys applying for the
We
grant?
work together, yes, but mostly it was Millennium. that-
So our grant writers are really
Application.
writing it. Okay, we pay them about 40,000 a year to write grants for us that we apply for. And I think they've been very useful.
Yes, they've been very
Okay.
successful with the New York Forward grant.
And the grants that you're applying for, how much are you asking for from taxpayers of the state?
So the total ask, I didn't bring the number with me. So I didn't bring it in front of me. I think we're supporting, so Scenic Hudson's contribution will be up to 134,000.
Okay, Scenic Hudson,
Beyond is more than half of the,
you're gonna match whatever the grant is?
yes, we're
Okay.
matching 50, it's a 1-to-1 grant match. We're matching the grant plus some.
I
That
see.
we've already invested for archaeological review, also.
So if you get the grant, the state taxpayers will give as a grant 134,000, and then Scenic Hudson will match that 134 with another 134. Because as we know, when, I think people in the public don't understand, when we get grants, it's not 100%, right?
Right,
So we usually have to match whatever the grant is with village taxpayer money to complete whatever project it is. And what you're saying is that the trail that you're gonna develop is gonna cost about 300,000? Is that the
so,
part?
we're paying for more than the match. The grant, I think itself is a $56,000 ask.
Oh,
It's around that, between that and $60,000. So we're matching that plus.
okay,
Things we've already, costs we've already incurred, which we can count in the larger project framework context. It's all related. And so it's the grant match plus.
okay. So it's a $56,000 grant that you're applying for, and then you're gonna match it with your money. You're not gonna ask the village for anything.
We've asked the village to contribute, we're gonna ask the village to be involved, so that takes time, we have some staff time. So we've accounted for that, and that's, you know, every time we meet, we're gonna have a volunteer workshop. Also, so their participation in that, because we're asking for volunteers to really install.
You mean human capital, but not taxpayer money? You're not gonna ask us to match whatever
In-kind.
grant is?
In-kind
In
service.
kind. It's called in-kind.
In-kind. That's the management agreement that you're trying to ask us to,
Yes, we've accounted for some administration but
Okay.
in kind, time, and then some materials as well.
Okay. Okay, so I'm just trying to explain it to the public,
Sure.
right? Okay, because this is all very nice, okay? You bought 31 acres, we cannot dictate as a village who buys properties within the village. We can't, okay? You bought it for a good price, and it's premium land, it's residential, and it's now land that we cannot develop, we cannot increase our tax base, we cannot get money from as villagers because you're a nonprofit. You took it off the tax rolls 5 years ago. We are not getting any money from you. And now you're asking us to contribute more money from these people, right? In terms of management fees, some kind of matching, right? So it's just kind of hard because our village needs this revenue. Our economic growth is not growing, right? Our tax base is declining. And I appreciate that you want to keep it green, I really do, but it's a residential zone, 31 acres of premium land that the village will now get nothing from in terms of tax revenue, which we need so badly. And very pretty, very nice, right? Very green. I'm for green. You have to ask us for more after you've already taken away our revenue source. Seems a little tough.
We're asking you to be good partners with us. And we've contributed a lot, we're contributing, we're leveraging the project. The village has agreed, we already have a great outsider on staff. So, we are making that effort worthwhile. I think we've had a very compelling grant, written up, and I think it's very likely we're gonna be awarded. We are contributing a large sum to leverage this project. We really wanna see it come off the ground.
Yeah.
It's a challenging site. I would say it would be very hard it's challenging to build residential. Everything is zoned something, so.
Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
So,
I
of
would
course, that's what
prefer
we're doing.
if you actually, Scenic Hudson actually told us, as part of this agreement, that you would give us a stipend for managing
They are.
and maintaining.
You
and-
got-
Oh, okay, how much is that? How much is
Well,
the
that,
stipend?
number one, that has to be worked out. We laid something on the table, and I can
Yeah.
share it, but if and here's what it's for. If DPW will go down there, once it's open, there'll be more traffic probably during the spring and summer than in the winter. I'm not even sure it's gonna be open in the winter, but and empty a trash can or two, put a new bag in. If a tree falls across the trail, we'll go down, and you'll go down and cut it and drag it off to the side, not cart it away, not chip it, nothing. So that our responsibility is very light work. And we've given you a number, a cost, and you're looking at it. You gave us a number, and I responded with, of course, with something higher and legitimate.
Yeah.
So,
So we're bringing that to our board
right.
next week. They have to approve that and any grant going forward, so this letter of understanding helps us know we're on the same page. So I would also just remind the board, we did carve off the parcel, the part of the property that was fronting on Main Street that was commercial, we subdivided that, so that could remain on the tax roll. So it's not, we are very sensitive to the tax issues, and we did that intentionally, so that's for nothing. But also, green spaces like this, they can leverage new construction, they can attract new residents. So having this as an asset, it's been locked away from residents. We're hoping to open it up, and we invite you to let us do that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, as part of the Scenic Hudson agenda item, you have before you the letter of understanding that I'm asking for permission to sign. Again, it's not binding. Elise?
It's a memorandum of understanding of future actions.
You need this for your meeting coming up, right?
Yes.
Yeah. May I have a motion?
Motion.
Motion by trustee Ramos, is there a second?
Second.
Second by trustee DeSalvo, all in favor?
Aye.
Yes.
Opposed? Motion carried. Thank you so much. We'll have this to you tomorrow.
Thank you very much.
Kevin, tomorrow might not come. Take it. Heidi, I'll sign another one and we'll have it for our file. Okay. Thank you.
Well, they'll countersign and send back.
That's right, we need another, yeah, they have two signatures on there. Yes. Thank you, Elise. Next on the agenda is to approve a recommendation from Chief Torpy to remove probationary status from the part-time dispatch Anastasia Krieger, who has completed 52 weeks of satisfactory employment probation.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by trustee Ramos, all in favor?
Aye.
Yes.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. We have a event form from the American Red Cross. Sponsor American Red Cross in New York State with Senator Skoufis on Wednesday, June 11, at the Holland Falls Senior Center here at 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. Insurance is on the back page, so they're actually all set to go. They just need our approval tonight.
Make a motion to approve the American Red Cross blood drive.
Is there a second?
Second.
Second by trustee Guerrero, all in favor?
Aye.
Yes.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Next, we have an event form. Palm Sunday Parade sponsored by the Hudson Highlands United Methodist Church in Fort Montgomery on Sunday, April the 13th. Main Street from Municipal Lot to Memorial Park, I'm sorry. So I'm assuming this could be from Sacred Heart to Memorial Park at 2 p.m. to 3 p.m. Of course, we'll give all of this to the police department, but they have not submitted insurance. It's supposed to be coming tomorrow. So the approval would be based on insurance being turned in.
I'd like to make a motion for approval of this pending the insurance document.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Okay, next, there's no action required by the board. This is to just update you. New York State is mandating that we change our emails from .org to .gov. The state has approved our plan submitted by our clerk, and it should happen sometime between now and June. So emails will change to .gov from .org.
As will the website.
On the website, yeah?
And the website.
Yeah, thank you so much. This came in late, not on the agenda, it's another event form submitted by the Recreation Department for the annual Easter egg hunt. So it's being proposed to be on April the 12th, rain date April 19th, It'll be between men's softball field and Fickens Field at 10 to 11. April 12th, 10 to 11, softball field, rain the following week, April 19th. Insurance is supposed to be delivered tomorrow, so your motion would be pending insurance.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Pete Carroll, all in favor?
Yes.
Yes.
Opposed? Motion carried. Public comment. Whoever wants to get, yeah, Merv? That's not Merv.
Good evening, Herb Lipsy. Just for the record, I'm here as a homeowner. That's why I'm here this evening.
Merv, we can't hear you, honey.
I'm here this evening as a homeowner, Herb Lipsy. Melanie, thank you for your words just then, appreciate that. One thing that comes to my mind right now is that we are in March, and next month is April, and April showers is what that brings. I know a few weeks ago, this board did make a motion to go over the tax cap if needed. I hope that doesn't happen as a taxpayer. I'd like to hear a little bit more about cuts than going over the tax cap, and there are areas that I believe that can be cut. And as a homeowner that in the past 15 years got flooded out 4 times, I've been over $200,000 of money out of my pocket for my home. I've been asking a couple times about the bridge that is next to my home. The bridge in my eyes is deteriorating. That's what it's doing. There's a 5-ton sign on that bridge. I don't know how in the world some of these trucks are going over that bridge. The walls on both sides of this bridge are deteriorating. My wall is rebuilt, in which I rebuilt it. It's in bad shape. I've also mentioned a few weeks ago that it's sinking. And you could actually take a look at the manhole covers, they're all sinking down. There's big cracks in that area. It's bad. And that's the reason I'm here tonight. I'm here tonight because April's coming around the corner. There's a lot of homeowners that are here. If you weren't affected with the flood, that's a good thing. If you were infected with the flood, when we talk about infrastructure, I understand what's going on with AOG, okay? I just hope we concentrate on the local people that are here first, before anything's put out to do with infrastructure for them. And I would really like to see something, and the reason I'm here is for the town clerk, if you could please put in the minutes that I am very, very concerned about this bridge next to my home. Because it needs to be worked on. I don't know, Mr. Mayor, if an engineer went up there and looked at it.
I should have a lot of information this Thursday from the
Okay.
engineer.
Okay. And I hope that, and I have also heard that, about Bog Meadow and all of that, slowing down the water, or different opportunities of having work up there to work on a dam to slow water coming down into the brook. But the thing is that this has to happen now. Because again, with April coming right in the corner here, we're talking about flooding and we're talking about a lot of water. And these walls along that brook right now, a lot of these property owners are shocked. They will not take the kind of storms that we've had. So I just want to put this to this board that it's budget time, and I've been there, and I know how hard that is. But it's also time for the taxpayers, and it's very, very, as you were saying before, Melody, it's costing a lot of money right now to live. And the infrastructure has to stay with the taxpayers. Thank you.
Next.
Just a quick question, are you talking about the Eagle Valley Bridge?
As soon as you go into Mern's,
Yeah,
Yes, Eagle Valley.
that
Eagle
bridge
Valley
right there,
Bridge, okay.
it's
Yeah,
in
yeah.
bad shape.
And they haven't started anything on it at all, right? Okay.
But I just want that in the minutes, because if I get affected again by the bridge.
Mayor, so you know too, Mayor, so you know too, it's a county bridge that the village is gonna have to,
I've also contacted the county too.
Yeah, good.
Central.
you have something on that, John? Good. In October?
Say it again.
Who said that, the county? The state?
State inspector.
Yes.
I'd like to take this opportunity to honor Dr. Guerrero. I know this is not our last board meeting, but because the last board meeting
Come on up, Joe.
tends to
You're part of
be
this, aren't you?
a workshop with no public comment, this is the last time. Dr. Guerrero has served this country her entire life. First, by joining the Army, but they quickly saw her aptitude to become a doctor, and she started her journey. She earned the bronze medal as a doctor this country. After 20 years, she retired, and she went and got her MBA, which came in handy when she came to the village of Highland Falls. She bought a few properties, each and every single one of them.
I'm sorry, excuse me, the mayor's being disrespectful, he's not paying attention.
I heard everything you said. I write things down, as people say.
You're being disrespectful?
You're disrespectful right now. Go ahead, go ahead.
Every single property that she invested in, she made nicer than his. She used her own money. She did not do this to make millions of dollars. She made it to look nice for communities she believed could move forward. As a duly elected village trustee, having to serve in a hostile work environment, she actually tried to do what she ran on, which was to cut spending, save the taxpayers' money, and give us transparency. Dr. Guerrero has been the lone voice of honesty on a board full of deceit. From the bottom of our hearts, many in this community thank you for your service, your honesty, and your philanthropy. Thank you, Dr. Guerrero.
Unexpected.
I want to thank you also, Melanie, giving the village residents a different perspective on village government. And we hear two sides. You've given us a lot of transparency, and we appreciate that. Pete, I appreciate you stepping in when somebody resigned. I wish you had more input, and instead of supporting local entrenched interests. But thank you both for serving.
Michael Joyce, proud member of the village of Highland Falls. I brought up,
No, pull that up.
There you go.
thank you. Looking very nice, if I might say so. You are also looking very nice. Trustee Salvo.
Thank
Well,
you.
I didn't want to leave you.
Thank you.
Anyway, 2 meetings ago, I brought up about the water filters. And as we all know, in this community, water is a big thing. Actually, if you did survival, it comes into the tree, the trees. You can't live without water. And that's why I was so concerned about the filters. 2 meetings ago, because last meeting was a workshop, you voted to move, I believe, $1.5 million, because you said we were in the black. Don't shake your head. I mean, I think I was there. Didn't you say $1.5 million? was over a million?
No, go ahead, finish your comment.
Well,
No, they don't do that. No, finish your comment, that's
okay,
good.
okay. Well, anyway,
Yeah.
to move to move monies from the water department into the general fund. And I'm shaking my head, just using common sense, because water is so critical. Why would we do that when we haven't worked on these 3 major filters that treat the water? That cost upwards, and I believe our own engineer said this, 400,000 apiece to revamp them, improve them, because that's what he submitted to FEMA. Am I correct, Mayor?
I think so, yes.
Yes,
They were definitely submitted to FEMA.
Okay,
I'm-
so
I'm not gonna
our
say-
own engineer recognized that these filters needed to be worked on to the extent of $400,000 apiece. Why hasn't it been done? Why hasn't even one filter been worked on?
If we,
If we had the money, the excess money, to move from the water department into the general fund. Now, I have heard it said that the reason why this work wasn't attempted was that, well, if another storm comes along, you know, the 1 in 100 years that we suffered, if another 100-year storm comes along, it will damage these filters again. Which, again, using common sense, I'm gonna meet the boatmen well before that. You know, and with that type of mentality, what does that say about our leadership looking after our children? The youth that are gonna lead this country to success. What does that say about our leadership and how they treat our youth? It doesn't say a lot, does it? I can't believe it. This is what America is going to be built on. The youth, not us. Our race is nearly run. You have to look after the younger people and the older people, because they are the ones that are more exposed to sickness, disease, or whatever. You have to look after our water filtration system. It's as simple as that. Now, somebody said, well, we do testing. You know, there's a guy up there, any house can call somebody, little guy comes along with his little bottle, take some water, and he'll test it and say, oh, we passed every test. Well, wasn't there a time, and please refresh my memory, where literature was put out saying that we failed one of our tests, and that old people or people with medical issues should not drink the water? Am I correct?
making a lot of statements, Mike, that aren't accurate.
I guess I am because
You are.
I guess I am because they are not
Well, I'll just
rebutting
address,
me.
I have 3, I'm just gonna give you 1 right now. All right, let's finish them all.
The other point is that you're elected by these people. Now, I know power can go to people's heads. You know, we've all heard of the Napoleonic complex, things like that. Money, power. But you're not just here to beautify our streets. You are here for the welfare of these people and their families. And at the end of this meeting, when somebody is going to have the last word, and they are going to pontificate, as what happened in the last meeting, when a gentleman had concerns about his child bathing in brown water, where somebody on the board said, well, I let my family member drink it. How dare any parent cast his standards on any other parent?
All right, Mike, let me ask you, let me say something. I know, let me say something.
No. Okay.
You-
Jim says he's
One
done.
last point.
No,
one
let
last
me
point.
just say
minutes,
it.
Pat.
Let me say it. It's been
5
more than
minutes.
5 minutes. I gave you 3.
No, they were different.
You're done yelling at us tonight.
No, they were different.
Okay, there'll be another meeting where you can get up and yell again, okay?
Well, I'm not yelling.
Yeah, well, you're not, you know what, you're right, you're not yelling, but you're telling us off. Wait till another, save it, if you got more, save it for the next meeting. I'll even make a special meeting, just so you can get them all out. But that's it tonight. That's it tonight. And I appreciate you said, I'm only gonna address one of the things you said, even though I have 3 here. As far as the mailing goes, the county, it's a requirement by the county. In fact, I think the county actually gives us what needs to be mailed out, and we mail it out. If you haven't gotten one, then we're doing real good. As a matter of fact, recently, there was an inspection, I can't tell you the exact date, I had it at the last meeting. Never saw a report like this from the county about our water department, how everything was very, very good. Never have we received a document like that before. But I appreciate your
I am
comments.
so glad that we stepped up from that
You're welcome.
point where we failed to
Yeah.
now we're doing
You're
better.
welcome. That's what you're supposed to do.
Well, the other point is,
No, that's it,
are we
Mike.
overdoing on the chemicals to compensate for the filters not functioning?
Are we overdoing
properly?
on the chemicals?
Could I say something?
Of course not.
Did you go up to the open?
Are you with the
No.
water?
No, I had,
Yeah.
I
It's
had
too
a
bad.
situation in New York City, personal.
It's too bad, but you know what, if
The
you
open
want,
house up there for that purpose.
no, Pete, you know what? You know what, for anyone I'll do this, but we're talking to this gentleman now.
Yeah.
If you wanna make a date, you just call up there, the day you wanna go and the hour you wanna go. And they'll meet you up there and you'll have the same tour, that this gentleman over here had that day.
I'm gonna take you over.
Oh, it's easy.
No, I'm gonna go up to your office and take your appointment.
You don't come to my office, call the water, come make an appointment. And whatever day is good for you.
You run things.
Okay, you come to me and I'll call them, we'll do it, we'll add a step to it. And whatever day's good for you, and whatever time is good for you, that's when you go up there. And then see what you see and hear and ask questions, because they're the experts.
Okay.
Okay, you come anytime you want, we'll make the appointment.
Okay.
Come soon.
And the bond we took out over a year ago to clean the tanks and paint them, what happened to that money? Because the tanks weren't cleaned, and they definitely weren't painted. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Excellent questions, Mike, excellent questions.
Okay, I just wanted to say, since you guys were answering Mr. Joyce's questions, right? Okay, he really just had a couple of questions. One is, why are we transferring, wait, you already just spent 5 minutes trying to answer him. I'm just trying to summarize it.
We're gonna answer him after public
So,
comment.
he is asking, why are we moving money from the water fund to the general fund when we need that money to replace the filters in the water plant, okay? And the engineer submitted a claim to FEMA, and I'm not sure that it would be right because there was an inspection way before the flood that said those filters in the water plant were obsolete, have outlived their lifespan by 70, they're 70 plus years old. They took pictures, we all got the report, it all said that it needed to be replaced. So why we're submitting it as a claim to FEMA is a problem to me, in my mind, okay? Each filter, he's asking how much does it cost to replace each filter? $600,000
Now it's 6.
per filter, and there
It went
are
up
3 of them.
200,000.
Okay?
Saying the water
That-
guy
well,
is right
that's
here,
what
why
the
don't you let
engineer
him
said.
answer? The
Okay.
water specialist is right here,
That's what the
the
engineer
person
said.
the village pays for.
I was there.
Okay,
No, but he is now.
He knows. You wait.
so that's his question. His question is, why are we moving money from the water plant when we need the water filters changed? We need that money to use it, to give us clean water. His second question is, why are you saying that the water is fine when all these people are telling you that the water is brown coming out of their faucets? Or it goes to the other extreme where it smells like Clorox. So why are you telling them they're lying? Why are you telling them that the sky is green when they're telling you the sky is blue? Right? You're telling them they're lying. It's not, they're not lying. Okay, so,
Nobody at any time said anybody was lying. That's a complete falsehood.
You said it was
that's
politically
essentially
motivated,
what you're
actually.
saying.
I
when
said it
you're
was
saying it's
political,
not
excuse
true.
me, Melanie, can you please? What I said was, is if that you still did not make an appointment yet for the water department to come down and check your water. Because it could be several things that's making your water brown, okay? That's politically motivated, that we didn't make the appointment yet. We want to try to help you, we want to try to solve your.
Why would I call the person whose water is
Mr.
in
Leahy, I
question?
am not going to argue with you, sir.
So
If you
don't
have a
talk
comment
directly
during
about
public
me.
comment,
So
then
don't
make the
talk
public
directly
comment.
about me, Mr. DeSalvo.
What don't you want me to do?
Don't comment directly to me if you
I'm
don't
not
want me to answer you.
commenting directly
So
to you, I'm
don't-
commenting to
about
her. You
No,
commented to me.
you're
talking about him.
All right.
Come on.
Pablo,
You're
what
an
do you have?
elected official, I'm not.
Okay.
Pablo, what do you have?
Thank
You're
you,
professional.
thank you,
I'm not.
thank
Call
you.
the public out.
Pablo, what do
Yeah, I
you
know
have?
you're not.
Do you have
I know,
anything or you
I know,
don't?
and you're not
I
either.
know you're professional,
You're
I
not
know you're
even-
not professional.
You're not either.
You don't. Come on,
Can't even answer a question.
go ahead.
Because you don't know how.
As you guys know, I used to work in the water department before the big rain and after the big rain. And after the big rain, I was put on a leave for a reason that I didn't understand. But little by little, it all comes out with the truth and no lies. Before the rain, it was nothing wrong with this water department. Everything was going smooth. And after the rain, still, the water department did not have any damage. Only the big tank that holds, I believe it's 1 million gallons. I do not know why you guys made a claim to FEMA asking for money to fix the filters when the water department was shut down. No water was going through it, nothing like that. And everything was fine. But you guys are making all these claims, asking all this money from here and there, but it was convenient for me to be kicked out of the water department, so I won't say anything. Well, guess what? Now is the day that I'm saying it, and I'm willing to testify under oath, saying that you guys are liars. This never happened. I was there. I saw it with my own eyes. You even called a company from New York City before the rain to check on the filters. I have the names. I have pictures. So, okay? So, now, after I left, the water department went down, and that's nothing that I can do. Yes, it is a lot of chlorine running. Yes, it is a lot of dirty water. That's why, because this small plant been running by village people that grew up over here. They know which valve you have to turn, which knob you have to move, and when you bring people from the outside that they don't know jack on that matter, these things are going to happen. And it's going to keep happening. Instead of that, you're looking at the money, you're looking at the best thing for whom. Because now you put in this money on the regular budget that is going to raise taxes for the people. I don't see how that works when you guys are elected to work for us.
Don't yell, Paul, don't yell.
Oh, he's a micro.
Turn it down. Turn one thing down,
Well,
you were there.
anyhow,
No, don't.
that's what I have to say.
Thank you.
And, you know,
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else?
John Dodson, I've been here about 45 years.
The man is an expert on water.
I do know a lot about water, actually, I'm a PD, but I just soon pass for the moment. I'm just here to, spoken to you, I've spoken to the mayor, and I've spoken to Jimmy, I think I've spoken to Helen also. We would like to see the candidates for mayor. We talked about this back in December, but we really weren't sure all the particulars. And we did reach out to the League of Women Voters, and we'd like to have a Meet the Candidates event here next Sunday on the 9th at 2 o'clock. And we'd like to have the most experienced mayor we've ever had be there as well to greet everybody. And we'd like to have Mary Jane put some questions, which we will put a invitation for questions which the public can submit, and we will print them out and send them to all the candidates by Friday. And then we'll reach in a barrel and keeping it to 3 minutes to answer the question, each candidate. So we'll see each candidate for mayor be able to answer the same question several times. It seems like a good way to get to see all our candidates that we want to become the new leadership for our village, which is pretty important. So I'm here to get the board's support. I'm just an engineer and a businessman, but I'm not a politician. And you guys, some of you are involved in the election, I understand, but I would like to have your sort of vote of approval, if you would, and say that this is something that's worthwhile for the public. I think it's worthwhile for the village, and certainly worthwhile for the candidates. I think to get a chance for people to know them a little better and see them together at one time. So if you could, just give me an indication if everybody thinks that.
Well, John, I don't want to prolong this. You came into my office a few days ago. Mr. Jones was there, which I was glad. And we had a discussion. And you told me that the League of Women Voters was the sponsor. And I told you that you needed to fill out a simple form, which I had gotten the girls out front to give you. You didn't take it home, you stood out there and you filled it out. It's right here. And then when I get it back, and I told you to put the lady, you said it was a lady, I didn't know it was a lady or man, you told me that.
Johnson, right?
Okay, so I told you to put her down and a phone number, and what you gave me was League of Women Voters and, I'm reading it, High Point Utility. High Point Utility. And I can't read what's High Point Utility? I've been familiar with High Point Utility for 15 years probably. And your P.O. box and your phone number. And I told you that wouldn't work, and you gave it to me anyway.
I didn't get that from you.
Oh, I was very specific about it, because I knew I had to be.
Well, I apologize.
Well, you don't have to apologize to me, but I'm just telling you. So and there's no insurance. So this I can't act on tonight. It has the wrong information. Well, there's nothing new. It's nothing new to you.
Put the lady's name down if you like. I talked to her today. She's not back yet. She's her birthday with her.
If you want to come in tomorrow, we can work on this.
Okay.
And then I don't know where I'll be able to take it, but if you want to come in tomorrow, we'll work on it. I give you that. Come in the morning. I work half days now.
Okay.
I'm starting to I want to retire, and I want to know what it's like.
I came in this morning, but you weren't around, so
I went home even earlier today. You come in tomorrow. I'm going to have fun. You come in tomorrow. Okay. Anyone else have anything? Yeah, yes. Hi, Lauren.
I'm a little shorter than the last
Put it
person.
down.
So Lori Tortel, County Legislator, I want to thank Trustee Guerrero for her service and dedication and tenacity for the village of Highland Falls and for the residents of this community and what she's done for you, so thank you. A couple of quick points. One is, I'm sure you've seen the notification, we have extended and expanded the veterans tax credit here in Orange County. I urge you to look at your local law on it and please help the veterans as much as you can with that. We'd appreciate it. Also, I see Andy here, our recent brand marshal. I was a little bit behind you in the parade, but it was a wonderful parade, a wonderful celebration, so I want to thank the organizers who put together the St. Patrick's Day Parade. It was a great time, a little blustery, but it was fun nonetheless.
Thank you.
So thank you on that. And then the final thing is, we were able to maintain this year in our taxes, and I'm sure every resident saw it in their tax bill, a flat tax rate in the county. We were tenacious with the budget. We were tenacious with what we could take from the fund balance to balance everything out. And I urge everybody going forward this year, especially with the uncertain times that we are in, facing prices in our grocery stores and prices everywhere else across the board for our medications, to please do what you can, keep your taxes flat.
Where we work very hard
I
at
know
it.
you do, I know.
It
I'm
is
going
tough.
across the board,
Yeah.
I'm saying this.
I appreciate it. No, you're right.
So,
You're
thank
right.
you.
You're welcome.
Right?
Thank
So
you.
not just
Thank you.
below the tax cap, but you kept it, you didn't raise taxes at all,
No, flat,
flat.
flat,
That's right, that's what we should be doing, not
Thank
raising
you.
taxes.
thank you.
Anyone else? I'm gonna move on.
Michael Leahy. Last meeting, you were saying about Road Park, $140,000 grant. The person you were kept talking about said they got quotes, but your quotes didn't match. To the lowest bidder, you said it, we don't even know where he got those numbers from. As somebody who did all the legwork for that money, why wouldn't you have at least looked at his quotes? For you as the mayor to say you don't even know where this guy got these numbers from.
No, I knew we got them probably
Well,
from contractors.
if you knew where he got them, you should have used that contract.
Well, I don't know who the contractor was. I assume he went to different people,
Well,
because a pool guy's
well,
a
you
pool
shouldn't assume,
guy.
you should have saw the quotes.
Okay, okay. We
Well,
advertised.
the quotes
Okay,
you said were tens of thousands of difference in dollars. You said this number, your number that your contractors came up with was always $10,000+ more.
So why use that? Yeah.
So why wasn't his legwork even looked at?
Well, maybe it was, maybe it
Well, you
wasn't.
said it.
No, maybe it was not my,
I'm just saying.
thank you, thank you.
Well, no, we deserve answers. Everything is.
This is your time to make comments. Yes, and I heard your comments. We did everything correct. When I mean correct, legal. We advertised, we met people over there.
That wasn't my question. My question was, why didn't you look at his quotes? If there was such a big difference in the numbers, you
We
had
did,
his numbers.
we asked the contractors who submitted to him, to the town, to also submit.
And they just didn't?
They didn't.
So,
It happens all the time. It's nothing,
Well, that doesn't even make sense.
well,
That's not
nothing makes
true.
sense. I understand,
No,
but
no.
that's,
For
all right.
Aaron Bob,
Also, you were, at the
Yeah.
beginning of the meeting, you were saying, you made about the sanitation department. I think everyone in the village understands the sanitation department goes above and beyond.
Above and
Does their
beyond.
job great.
Yep.
I think you were politically trying to twist what other people have been saying about garbage cans being out and left out. It still has not been addressed.
garbage cans have nothing, being put out or left out have nothing to do with
It actually
sanitation.
does. Most
To
of
the sanitation?
Most of the children, no, the sanitation is doing a great department.
That's what I'm
A
saying.
great job.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay, so the children that walk from the middle school and dispersed into the town and have to walk into the middle of the street because there's garbage cans there, why aren't those houses being violated with a fine? The police are allowed to write violations. When I was 15 years old, I was put in handcuffs for spitting on the sidewalk, which is a violation, not a crime. So I don't understand how police were allowed to do that then, but now they can't even write a simple violation now, which puts the children at risk. No answers?
Good job.
I think the transparency that everyone keeps talking about is this. Everyone has concerns. You guys give the answers that you put together that has no reflection on what the village community is telling you. This is our problem. Oh, well, this is our answer. We're elected to this board. That's it.
Thank you.
I wasn't done.
Oh.
At Roe Park, the water fountain has not worked for how long? DPW, how long has not the water fountain at Roe Park has it not worked? How long?
Probably 3 years. And the bathrooms are all.
3 or 4 years?
And
So-
we were told by the water department then to shut it off because of the testing things that the county made them do. And that's why the fountain's not working. It was too much of a hassle.
So, sir, Mr. Mayor, an elected trustee, how many times have you guys been to the park and known that the children that play at the park this past summer was how warm? Wasn't there like heat waves, and this building had to be opened by Sally Doors for temperature control for seniors? But no one thought to go up to the park and check and see if the kids have water to drink so heat exhaustion doesn't set in? Why are you looking so confused, Mr. Mayor?
Or the water fountain in the pond?
No,
No, the water fountain.
the water fountain you drink from and you live.
Like the playground.
It was very simple. All right, Michael, let me answer a couple of questions, right? One is, I will tell you, budget workshops are gonna happen all week this week and part of next week. All right. I will tell you that the police department is almost 40% of the general fund budget. 40% we pay for the police department, salaries, benefits, dispatch, all of that. We are a small community. I've always advocated that the police department should be for community policing. For the 1,200 people who live in this 1 square mile village, for the police to be part of the community. Okay, we don't have big murders, big crime here. We're a bunch of law-abiding citizens who like each other. We like the police to come out and do exactly what you just said, right? Talk to the kids, go to the people who have their trash cans setting out for days at a time. Go up to them and say, listen, we're gonna issue a notice, we're gonna fine you if you don't put it away. Be friendly, okay? And people will really get along with just that kind of community policing. I've asked this board repeatedly, okay? The code enforcer, one guy, is not gonna do all of that. He's not gonna go out, issue violations, follow up on those violations. We need the police to help the building department. Time and time again, Mr. DeSalvo said, no, that's not what the police is for. The mayor, that's not what the police is for. Okay, that's not what our village employees are for.
Well, to be honest,
They should be.
with no disrespect, our police commissioner is sitting here with his head down, marking on the paper. This is something he should be talking to the officers about, regardless of what the mayor is telling him to do.
I agree.
Simple as that.
I don't tell
And
any
also,
village trustees that.
The stupidest thing you've ever heard.
It's the stupidest thing.
How is that the
But I'm not
stupidest thing you've ever
surprised, because
heard?
every meeting you.
All right,
Because you're an asshole.
Gotta finish.
Yeah, there you go.
That's why
Yeah,
it's-
that's it. Anyone else?
Oh,
Yes.
no, I have another
No,
question.
no,
So
not
the
when you
water's
talk like
brown.
that.
The water, the
Come
guy
on.
that runs our water.
Come on,
company is
Alina, if
sitting
you
here
wanna
and
talk, it's
no one
now.
said nothing.
If you want to
The
talk,
concern
it's
is so
now.
much about the water.
As soon as someone swears, that's it. Thank you.
Because he's
Go
an
ahead.
asshole.
There you go.
Yeah, you call
And
Go
he's
ahead.
an asshole.
Go ahead.
One more time.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
bud.
But you can't
No, you can pull that down.
Alina Olivia, village resident. Sometimes I prepare ahead of time what I might say, and sometimes I talk out the wind. And recently I'm brainstorming, thinking I could not get up at another meeting and say the same thing over and over. The trash, the snow, the loud music, and the cars in their parking zones. Then it hits me. Why should I have to ask the same thing for so long? And maybe why does this feel so important to me? We talk about the condition of the village, and in my mind that directly correlates to quality of life. Of course, things change as we move through time, but seeing so much of the community, young and old, struggling just to get around, it blows my mind. And what I'm not understanding is why the board would not be more motivated to improve how we are living. Okay, so brief timeline. I've heard many different people over the course of many years talk about the condition of the village, including prior trustee Phillips, who spoke about the trash cans more than once. I myself, along with a few others, began speaking on this issue around August, September of 2023. During that time, we actually spent maybe 5 or 6 meetings in a row talking about code enforcement. The response from the village board was that the code enforcement is the duty of the building department. And I'm gonna quote you here, Jimmy, you had said, the town is not giving them enough resources to manage that office properly. Okay, so the building department needs help. Makes sense. I did in fact follow up at a couple different town board meetings, conveying the opinion that the building department needs assistance. The response from the town board was that there's a hired company to help when duties pile up. Okay, so then I followed up on both sides with where's the disconnect? Shouldn't both the village board and the town board be meeting together, having discussions on how to work on and remedy some of these issues? That got me nowhere. Now, I know there is a new hire. Great. I really hope it helps. And I want to be perfectly clear. Nothing about this conversation has anything to do with the character or work ethic of the building department. The issues at hand actually have very little to do with any village or town employee. We have some great people that are highly qualified in their departments. The attention pulls to our departments because it's up to them to fix the problems. But really, the problem is coming from the citizens. Some, I'm sure, from lack of knowledge, some probably physical inability, and some out of sheer lack of care and laziness. So I have documented along the way, snapping photos, passing by, mostly in disbelief at what I've been seeing. I recently compiled these photos into a slideshow to share my perspective. I really don't like Facebook. It pulls controversy and drama no matter what you say, but it is a good outlet to reach community members. Some of the feedback I got included its political soundbite as it is election season. And I can't help but laugh because I myself have literally been asking for a resolve on these issues for well over a year. Why would anything take that long to be addressed? And that leads me to question, if this is how you handle the small stuff, then how are you handling the big stuff?
Thank you. Anyone else?
Oh, you want to go south? Okay.
Hello, everybody. Last week, I was contacted by Senator James Scoofers' office. They wanted to reintroduce me to Colonel Holshek. He helped us with the relief efforts with the July 9th flood of 2023. So I read his program, we spoke, and I immediately thought that what he wanted to do was actually do a presentation for the town of Highlands United Youth on his program. I immediately thought that this was too big of a program just for the town of Highland United Youth. I reached out to the school district in which we will be having a meeting within the next couple of weeks, but I also wanted to introduce him to our village, to our community, as there may be young adults that would be very interested in this program also. So a little bit about Colonel Holschuck. He is a 2023 inductee to the New York State.
Lori, is this a presentation?
No, I just want to introduce him, and then I want him to just explain as to what he.
Well, if you need a presentation, I need to get you on the next agenda.
Well, it's not a presentation, I just want to introduce him as to what he wants to do, what he is trying to put here. Okay, so this is what I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna introduce you, you can do your thing.
Well, thank you, Sally, for asking me to come. My name is Colonel Christopher Holschuck, retired. I'm a member of the American Legion of Orange County. I'm also the commander of the post over in Harriman on the other side of the mountain. I'm with the American Legion Riders of Orange County, and I am the coordinator for the youth programs of the American Legion in Orange County. I am here, I guess I'm kind of like that little 2-minute segment at the end of the news program where I'm not here to complain about anything or give you bad news. I'm actually here to explain to you a resource. That's all I want to let you know. Be aware of a resource that's available to you from the American Legion of Orange County, and we pay for it. And it's for your kids. We are oriented on youth in Orange County. If you want to know more about what we're doing in Orange County, go to the Orange County Chamber of Commerce website, look under the directory, type in American Legion, you'll see the American Legion of Orange County and the American Legion Riders. And these documents here are linked there. You can download them. As a courtesy to the board, I made sure that they had copies. All I want to do very quickly is talk about 3 things that we can make available to your kids here in this community to make them better citizens, better Americans, and to grab that baton from our generation and take it forward in the great story of America here in this corner of our country. That's what we're trying to do. That's all we're trying to do. Okay? The first thing that I want to talk about is Boys State and Girls State. Anybody ever hear that? Anybody ever go to Girls State and Boys State? It's kind of a civics camp at the end of June for the boys and the beginning of July for the girls up in SUNY Morrisville. It's 1 week of going to camp. They actually have Marines there to wake you up in the morning. It's not quite like boot camp, so don't get too worried. And it's about learning how government works, based on the model of the New York State Constitution. This is done in every state in the Union. I am a graduate. I went to Washingtonville High School. I went to Boys State in 1977. Gives you an idea how old I am. Great program. It's very storied, and if you get a certificate that you were at Boys State or Girls State, that's quite a thing to have that on your resume. The second thing that we do, which is a new program, is you all heard of the honor flight?
Yeah.
Okay. I was asked by Jennifer DeFrancesco to kind of kick it up a notch and get more youth involved in the honor flight. So we came up with this thing about a year or so ago and implemented it. We're still kind of in the pilot stages. It's called the Honor Flight Youth Guardian Program. These are high school seniors who get to escort a Vietnam or other veteran, okay, that day when they fly down to Washington and they get to see the national monuments made for them. They get to have a personal understanding of the meaning of service and sacrifice by hearing that Vietnam veteran story, seeing him break down at the wall when he reads his buddy's names that he lost over there. And then the best part is at the end. Okay? The best part is at the end because here's what happens. It's a 16-hour day. They get off the plane at Stewart. And they thought they'd seen everything. And the next thing, they turn the corner coming down the gangway there. And there are all these people giving them something they haven't had in over half a century. A welcome home.
and there's a lot of Kleenex moments. That, by the way, is an opportunity for you all to participate, to be part of that crowd. And maybe one of those people that's pushing the wheelchair of one of those veterans is a kid from this community. So, that's number 2. Number 3 is what we call the National Service Ride. It's based on a project that I created, where what we do is we go into the schools and we talk to kids about the importance of service, especially community service, how they can serve, how they can better themselves by serving their community, and by serving their community, they're serving their country. We don't care how they do it. We're not interested in recruiting people for the military. We're just interested in good citizens. Because you know what we like to tell them? It's one thing to defend the country, it's another to have a country worth defending. That's the partnership between the citizen and the soldier. You should understand that, I'm sure. So that's also civics. In teaching them the importance of that, but not only because it's good for the country and for the community, but it's good for them because of the economy that we live in now in the 21st century. The very kinds of skills that they need to have, no matter where they go, whether they go to college, they go to the military, they go right into the workforce, they need these skills. Community service will give them, and a whole lot more. So it's a kind of a value proposition you give them. That way we kind of prep them for when there's a volunteer fair, and they're going to the volunteer fair, and they know why they're there, and they know what they're looking for. Instead of just saying, well, I don't know what the heck I'm doing. It raises the level of the chance of success for these kids to get involved and do the right thing by serving their community. So that's it. That's all I got.
Colonel Holchek?
Yes.
Thank you so much. I have been up there when they come home, and it is an amazing thing. I heard about it, and I'm sure you're familiar with WTDP.
Oh yeah, I know.
Yeah, right.
I know Taylor very well.
Yes, and they promote it.
Yep.
And I heard about it many, many years ago from that local radio station. But having the youth guardian program, that's something new, correct? Because
Yes.
generally it's an older person that takes them to that. So I commend you on the youth guardian program for this, and I think.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Any questions? No. We're here as long as you guys need to be. I have extra copies for you folks if you're interested in any of these things. Come see me.
Hi, Julia Olivia, the village resident. I just have a quick statement as to something that I've noticed. As a young adult, I realized that it might not be my place to be commenting on the behavior of my elders. However, I feel that it is necessary to say that the people that come to these meetings this late in the evening deserve your respect just as much as you think that you deserve ours. When someone on the village board is closing their eyes, scoffing, or being visibly discontent at the situation that they're in, the place they're supposed to be at this time, it shows that you don't seem to care what the village has to say, and it's evident. But going forward, if you'd like respect from the residents that you work for, I suggest that you return the sentiment. Thank you.
I'll be quick. I want to make an observation about something that was said tonight. And I want to thank the Scenic Hudson representative for your presentation. These are great, I know what to call them. But there was a good give and take between the mayor and you. And it was interesting. But something came out of this in that Melanie asked a question. And she asked a couple of questions. And what came out of it was that there's a revenue stream coming in to the village coffers that, small as it may be for trash pickup or snow removal or whatever, but that was never expressed. We never heard anything about that. And I think the taxpayers and residents would like to know about revenue streams coming into the village outside of their property taxes. And that's the kind of transparency that people want.
Okay, so that specific revenue stream that you're talking about is in the management agreement, which is still being
Yeah,
negotiated.
it's still being negotiated, yeah, I know, and we get
And we wanna
revenue
make sure
from,
that the
from the closed
village
bins,
is,
and we get revenue from the electric, car charges.
yeah,
You know,
Yeah.
we'd like you know, some sort of accounting for that, so
Yeah.
that we know what we're getting above and beyond,
when
and how that money is being spent, or is just put into the general fund.
when that's agreed upon by this village board and the folks at
Listen, thanks
Scenic
for
Hudson.
listening, you know, that's, you know,
Yeah. Okay,
I
thank you.
wasn't expecting an answer, but thank you,
Yeah.
Colleen, for asking the questions and
Absolutely.
information coming out.
Hi, I'm Dee Moreno, owner of Crappy D's at 260 Main Street. Sorry I've missed a few village board meetings due to my health, but I'm actually just making a few announcements, so nothing too crazy. I just wanted to say, wearing one hat, that the Town of Highlands, working with the Town of Highlands Environmental Advisory Committee and the Town of Highlands board members, in securing 2 grants for our disaster preparedness shelters. So we can't say any specifics right now, but it is good news, and I wanted to share that with everyone here in the village. Once we get the official award letter with the details, we will be sharing it with everyone here, so that way everyone knows what's going on, and that, you know, what we've already secured, what we're looking to secure more. So those are the 2 grants we're hoping we get the information as soon as we can, we can share that, so some good news there. Also wanted to just let everyone know that the next chamber meeting is coming up on March 19th. I do email the
What does that mean?
chamber, yeah,
Oh,
and it's the 3rd Wednesday of the month. I do email everyone on the board, and whoever's on the mailing list gets that email as well. But it is open to the public, and if you need information, it's on social media. And we'll make sure we try to share it also on the public access channel.
I get it.
Dee,
Yes, sir.
should you let everybody know where it's gonna be? Hacienda, right?
No, that one had already passed.
Oh, okay.
Yes, so we are securing a location. We met with the owners at some of the new restaurants that are gonna be opening up. If it's ready in time, not in terms of opening publicly, but just for us to be in the building safely to have the meeting, I will announce that as soon as possible. So they're working on that. If not, we'll be going to a regular place on Main Street.
So hopefully you'll have it at the town meeting next Monday?
Yeah, I'm hoping to have it,
Maybe?
I'm hoping to have it before then, yeah. I usually just, as soon as I get the information, I email that out, and then I post it all over social media, so yeah. I try, and then on the public access channel, so.
I appreciate
As soon as I get it, I send it to you guys also. Wearing another hat, I just wanted everyone to be aware of the American Legion fundraiser, to raise money for the Legion. They are having a disco night, $20, and there's also a discount for veterans, military, first responders, and seniors. But the base price starts at $20 and then it goes below. They're having the rescheduled date to be March 15th at 7 p.m. Again, this is to help our local American Legion. So if you are a veteran and you're not already a member of the American Legion, I advise you to please do so. If you are a spouse, child, granddaughter, grandson, anyone related to a veteran, I advise you to also be a part of the American Legion Auxiliary. Membership, obviously when people grow up, unfortunately we pass. So membership has been low, so I want to just urge the community, because we do have a very large veteran community and a very large family who's related to veterans, to please get on the American Legion for your local town. If you move, it's very easy, you can always switch it, and be a part of all of these initiatives of us trying to make the Legion better, run programs, include more programs at the American Legion, which of course are free of cost. Also, we wanted to just let everyone know it's a bit early, but it's a really nice collaboration we have going with the town, hopefully in the village, we're still, having meetings with, finding out what resources we can use and having host for save the date for the April 26th Earth Day, run by the Town of Highlands Environmental Advisory Committee. If you have any questions, it's gonna start at 10. It's gonna be at multiple locations, and I believe Scenic Hudson is also having something the same day, which they just announced, around 1:30. So we're gonna have everything listed out. It's gonna be a full day, and it's gonna be a lot of good activities to have, lots of resources and knowledge, and also getting to know our new upcoming hiking trail a little bit better. And any questions? My number's right on the front of my store, nice and big. But you can always email the chamber at info@tohcc.org.
Thank you.
And that's about it. If
Thank
there's
you.
any questions for the board, have a
Thank
nice
you.
night.
Thank you.
Sally Jones for one more time. So, we just discussed some of these grants that we're gonna be getting for the disaster relief, shelter, which is right here in this building. So I just wanna put it on the record that we did, in January of last year, Mr. Mayor, you, myself, Eric Smith, Town Joe DeWitt, and on the phone, Kurt Hahn with Emergency Management, we designated that this was going to be the shelter for our community in the event of a disaster. So now I want to discuss housing, the supplies that we're going to be generating. So we do understand that these items will be coming here once they get here. Right, we understand?
I don't know what items, listen, Sally, I understand I understand tonight that you're putting for a couple grants. I'm assuming they're for cots,
Correct.
blankets.
Stuff that you were supposed to do, yes.
So we need,
During that
Wait,
meeting, you
excuse me.
stated, no, you will not disrespect me again. So during that meeting, you stated you were going to get grants for all those supplies. You also stated that you were going to get generators for this building. Is that
Okay,
correct or no?
No, it's not correct.
Oh, yes, it is correct.
Well, that's your opinion. Number
Oh,
one,
I know the truth.
no,
So actually,
number one, I
Joe
said
DeWitt,
that I
who
would
is
get,
town council
number
that was
one,
there, is actually here.
number
So
one,
you-
I said
no,
I
no,
would get
you
the
will not
costs from the
disrespect me
county
again.
and from West Point. That's
You
what I
will not
asked.
disrespect,
Don't
no, that is
respect me.
incorrect.
Okay,
That
yes.
is incorrect. That is
Folks,
100% incorrect.
I didn't say I would get a grant. I said I would
Yes,
try.
you did. You said that you were gonna look for a
Okay,
grant.
I'll let you finish.
No. Oh, yes, thank you.
Finish.
You said that you were gonna look for grants for those supplies, and you were also gonna look for a generator January of last year. Okay? So not only was it just me in the room, but it was also town council, and it was also Orange County Emergency Management. So there is no way for you to lie about that.
Okay, now let me say, mine only take 10 seconds. What I said was that I would go to the county.
No, it's not. That's not true.
Did I
You said
interrupt
that
you?
were
Did
going
I
to do that.
interrupt you?
Actually, a few times.
Okay. I said I would go to the county and see if I could get cots. I said I would go to West Point thinking maybe they have cots. And those could be, stay here. We could get 10 and 10 maybe. I didn't have a number. Whatever they give us was going to be good for me. As far as the generator, we did get a grant for 2 generators.
You are correct.
And they'll be installed, I don't know when, but soon, outside here. So the generators are probably, I can't say they're the most important thing, but when we have an emergency, we either don't have electric, or it's hot, or you need heat. Now we're going to be able to have all of that with the generators. One's going down the highway department, one's going here, and every village building, water plant, sewer plant, village hall, fire department, this building and highway will have a generator. Okay, that's all, that's what I know.
So you're denying everything that you said in that meeting?
I'm denying what you're saying I said.
Well, Joe, you know what?
No.
You are correct. I'm not gonna go further with this. However, I do want
Let's
to...
just get the cots
Listen.
and blankets,
Well, correct.
you know,
It will be coming,
I hope.
but I just want to put it on the record.
But we have to
as to
figure out
where
where
it's
we're
going.
gonna. Yeah,
Well, you know what, Mr. Mayor?
Yeah,
Mr. Mayor,
yeah, Mr. Mayor.
okay, yes, that will be as to where it has to be determined, because it's been a round and
I
round
thought that's what you
circle.
were asking for tonight.
So listen to me, okay? Now you're cutting me off, right?
Now you've done it.
It's okay for you to cut me off? Like I said, you will not disrespect me
You're not
again.
doing yourself any favors, Sally.
No.
Believe me, you're not. Believe me, that's, when
I'm
the,
just
when,
putting it out
when the
there
item,
again. I'm just
whoever,
putting it out there
whoever you
again,
want.
that you are misleading
Whoever
everybody.
you want to come and talk about where to put 20 cots, 30 cots,
The
I don't know.
problem is, Mr. Mayor, if someone goes to talk to you, you're gonna change the subject no matter what, that's
No, we're
gonna
gonna keep
benefit
it
you.
on cots and blankets.
Oh, no, Mr. Mayor, the subject is that you will change that you will change.
To what?
What do you mean, so what?
I said, to what?
No matter how, whatever is gonna benefit you.
If someone wants, if Kurt
And
Hahn wants to come, or
it's
you
over,
want to
thank
come.
God.
Oh, it's over, okay. All right, anybody
Thank
else want
you.
to speak?
So it is on the record, right?
Yes.
It's on the record that this is what was said, that all of these supplies will be housed here.
Pat, you guys?
What about the closet you guys promised her months and months
Back
ago?
here. That's what we need to talk.
So that's where they'll
Well,
go.
no,
Why
no,
couldn't
no,
you
but
just have
actually,
told her
no,
that?
no, wait, hold on. Hold on, thank you. Mr. Carroll, thank you. So we had a discussion also, right, as to what the supplies were gonna go for disaster relief stuff? Did we or did we not?
Yeah, we talked about it about a year ago.
Okay, where did that go? And I'm not trying to put, so I'm gonna apologize to you right now, because I'm not trying to put you on the spot. Because you don't deserve to be put on the spot right now, but I'm just looking for answers. So where did that go?
I suggested that we give you one side and there.
You did suggest, and what happened to that? Where did that go? Did it go anywhere, or did it just end?
It ended.
And why did it end?
Seniors said they had
I don't think
priority.
anyone can hear you.
The seniors had priority here, and they had fixed that all up. So they
disaster
never came
relief?
back to me about it, to try to get anything.
So,
You and I were here. We saw what they did to make it cleaned up and shaped up and everything. And we were in here, you saw it as well as I did. You never came back to me and with any solution for that.
okay, so we actually met twice, okay, regarding the back room.
Once
The first
before,
time that we met,
and it was a
it was
mess.
completely empty. There was nothing back there. And then once it was found out as to what was gonna go back there, that's when there was a whole reconfiguration back there as to what everything that's being used. Am I right or am I wrong? We had that
The
discussion.
first meeting we had, it was a complete mess back there. You had just piled stuff in, and three of those cubes are back there, and it was a mess. The seniors took it on themselves to make everything.
Wait,
tidied up.
are you saying that I made a complete mess back there?
The things that you brought in created a mess.
There were three little boxes that I brought back here.
That's not true.
That's not true?
No.
Okay, can you tell me what was back there?
I know there was food.
Yeah, there was food actually back there. There was tables and,
So those were disaster relief boxes that were contained. 3 or maybe 5. You are correct.
With food?
food, you could
That
say.
was non-perishable foods. Those are disaster relief boxes.
Okay,
Okay, so those were non-perishable foods, correct, which last year's.
I didn't look into the boxes.
So that's, yeah, you are correct. There were 3 to 5 of those boxes.
Okay.
And what other mess was back there?
Chairs were all over the place.
Oh, I didn't put chairs behind there, honey. So the only time, so originally, during that meeting, Mayor D'Onofrio, with everybody that was there, had said that office over there was gonna go to disaster relief. He said this in front of everyone.
That was before ours.
Correct, that was before you. And again, I apologize to you because you don't deserve this right now. Okay? But that was what was said. All right? And then there was a whole other thing. And you know what, actually, I'm gonna end it or whatever right now because I've made my point and I've had this on the record. And everyone, I hope, that within this community will actually know what goes on.
Okay, well, let me just add this.
Go ahead.
When I came on, it was right after that,
Correct.
that change up. And I was standing in that other room when you were complaining about the cameras and you gave them the finger.
I gave you the finger?
You gave the cameras the finger.
So that is wrong. That information is actually wrong. Would you actually like for me to, I really don't think you really want me to express as to how that occurred, but I will.
No, I don't have, no, not now.
If you want me to, I
All
will.
right, that's it. Pat, you have something to in the meeting.
Have a great night, everybody.
You have wonderful.
Education.
God bless you.
Good job, Sally.
First, I'd like to thank Chris for bringing up those great things for our kids. He took a lot of time out coming here today. Thank you very much. It's a great group, and I hope we embrace them. I would also like to thank Sally, because not only is she putting a lot of time into the mitigation subject, but she is also looking for the money to pay for it. Not just, we should do all these things. She's trying to find out how to pay for it. I also have to thank Alina for putting up for 2 years, for those that weren't listening. I'm going to try to be quick. 2 years of bringing up the trash cans. Some people might think it's petty. Some people might think it's small. But that's where everything grows as far as trash cans, parking, buildings, everything. When everything's left undone and not taken care of. And it was talked about that we can't tax our police. And anytime you bring up any department in this village, the comeback is, we have great people, stop talking about them. No one's saying they're not great people. We're saying the management is horrible. That's what I'm saying. Our departments are great. We have great people, and they will do what they're supposed to do. But they are not given the proper instruction. They are not given the proper direction. The water, just me. If I had a letter from the county that said how great, after all these years, our water is so phenomenal, I would have made sure I had copies in the back with or even put it right on the agenda. And again, talking about the water, nothing against the people that are running the water plant right now. I do agree with Pablo that after all these years, the people that were working on them do know how to tweak and work the system to get it to where it needs to be. And the people that came in, that took over the water plant, need time to figure out what's going on. But I don't believe that was a great move at all. Because even though you said we're going to save money, I don't believe the other pieces were worked into the number, which is fixing the pipes, which our people did during the day when they're already being paid, for the most part, unless it was a serious break at night, which is even simple as flushing hydrants. We're doing a lot of extra stuff that now the plant was not contracted to do. Not their fault. They're doing what they were contracted to do, but the management did not contract properly or give us a proper number as to our savings. Again, maybe it was a good idea to bring a company in, but we weren't given the proper information. As far as the road park estimates that were brought up, you kept saying, we check with them, we check with them. It's my understanding that Aaron Falk did all the legwork, talked to the best contractor that he could find for a great price. Everything that you guys did afterwards were higher prices, which is a standard thing for this village. I don't understand why our recreation director was not at the pinnacle of the decisions. He's the one that's running the recreation program. Why isn't he at least involved, if not running the discussion on what should be done at Roe Park and our other recreational facilities? That's what he's being paid for. That's what he's being paid for by Fort Montgomery and the village. Every villager pays his salary, for those that don't understand that. And why are we not letting him do his job? You are stopping him from doing his job. And he wants to do it. And I think he does a great job. As far as the village, easy. As far as the village garbage cans, and we say that it's the building inspector, the police, it's all their problem, they're not doing their job. I think they're doing their job. We're not organizing it properly. It needs to be everyone in on this together, and it will take no time. DPW should be involved, the police, everybody. When we're driving around in a truck and we see garbage all over the road, it doesn't necessarily mean the DPW or the police have to pick it up, but there needs to be a phone call. There is no communication, and we keep saying how great our relationship is with the town. I think there's zero relationship with the town. And it's been proven time after time, definitely over the last 6 months to the last year. One of the things we talked about as far as the money and the budgets, and we said, and there was a comment about, please make sure you try to handle the budget, and there was a comment about the fact that our budget is 40% of our entire budget, and we talk, the police is 40% of the entire budget. Again, not ranking on the police department, ranking on the people that are putting the budget together, because the majority of that money was not the regular hours, was not additional stuff. It was overtime. It was overtime, unscheduled overtime, that was constantly being abused and not dealt with by this board. That's a fact. You can bring up whatever you want. That's a fact. Community policing, these officers want to do the community policing. If you actually talk to them, they say it all the time. That's the favorite part of their job. We don't allow them to do enough, and we don't encourage it. I just want to say a quick thank you to Mike, Michael, and Pablo, because yes, they got a little loud, they're a little agitated, just like Melanie does, and everyone says, oh, stop, stop. Well, the problem is, other boards, like, so let's say, I don't know, the town board, rarely has that issue. Because the town board is much more transparent. The town board actually answers questions. The town board, when you bring up garbage cans 2 years ago, deals with it within a couple months. That's why Sally Dorsch doesn't act like that ever. And for some people that came here for the first time, she's not like that. She's like that because nothing is being done. Consistently asking for help. It's not her job. She's not getting paid. You're getting paid. She wants to see a better community, as we all do. No, I can't even read the rest. That's it.
Good evening, everybody. Past few meetings, I didn't have an opportunity to give out the report for the sewer plant. So in January, that'll be really quick and brief. We pushed.
Did I just get skipped?
No, I changed
Oh,
it.
you want
Yeah.
to start?
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm gonna come first.
all right, sorry.
So in January, we pushed 38,000 gallons a day out of the plant down there. And as usual, you know, they did their annual checks on the pump stations and everything. Everything was doing well in January. As far as February, the number has went up. It's at 650,000 gallons a day, although we did have 3.28 inches of rain. And I will stress again that anybody that has a sump pump, please don't put it into your sewer line. Have it go outside, into the street, into the storm drains where it belongs. TAM hauled out 75,000 gallons of sludge from the thickener. We have some new pumps ordered. They're a couple of weeks out that are going to get put in down there. Again, they're continually doing maintenance on the equipment that is required, and it's part of their contract. All the samples have been collected on a weekly process and sent to the DEC. As far as Mearns Avenue, I was up there a couple of times. Curbing's done, the drainage infrastructure is in. Right now, what they are doing is they're working on acquiring asphalt. Hopefully that will be within a week or two. The weather really dictates when you can get asphalt out of a plant, but they're working on that. They are also working on restoration of some of the green areas that were disturbed, whether it be your yard or in the front, because we all know that the sidewalks over there are grass. So they're still working on that. Some bids, the bids have come in for the Little League field. They're gonna be open this Thursday. Hopefully that work is scheduled to start on 3/16. We're praying for that. And it should be done, again, praying for that by June. So let's see what happens there. That's the information that I got from the way the bid was put out and the way the work is scheduled to get done. So a couple of good things. This is National Reading Month. We have a jewel in our community. It's the library. Get on down there. It's a great place to visit and do some reading with some young children. I know they have a lot of programs down there with the young children. And again, National Reading Month, it's a good reason to make yourself go down there. Again, Park Connect, getting back to the parks things. Park Connect has a newsletter, can be found online at New York State Parks website. Most notable thing that I found on that at this point in time, there's just so much information out there, if you really want to go and look for it, is to unplug this spring. You go out there into the New York State Parks, it has a wellness challenge of 50 different tracks that you can do. Hopefully ours will be on there soon. And there's also an app called Goose Chase. Go onto that app, and I'm not an app guy, I do that before dinner, but that's just my thing. But the app's out there, Goose Chase, check it out, great thing to do. And one other thing from the National Parks Organization is a National Park NPF website that you can go to, and it talks about all the parks around here. I don't know if anybody has visited the parks or the one across the river, which is phenomenal. But go onto that website, and I know the meeting's getting long. Let's see, pamphlets. I got some pamphlets here, and they're going to be down at Village Hall. These are from the New York State Public Service Department, and one has to do with household electricity and energy saving tips, and the other one has to do with utility service interruptions. You can get these, they'll be right down at Village Hall. A lot of great information in there when the power goes out, or how to save some money on your energy. Talking about flooding. I know Mr. Livesey was here talking about flooding. I too have been to some of the presentations that Kurt Hahn gave. If anybody wants to, this is a great place to help volunteer for Flood Watch. You go onto My Coast app or mycoast.org. You can sign up and be a part of what happens after a flood, and where they can compile this information to help prevent floods or a way to prevent floods in the future. And I got more, Mr. Mayor, but I'll save some of that.
Yeah, Sid.
Sure.
Pete? Please?
The water report, it's for the Village of Highland Falls, weekly flow and operation status report. Just wanted to point out that for the week 2/22/25 to 2/28/25, we used raw water flow average of 440,000 gallons per day. Now, I started here about a year ago, a little less than a year ago, and I'd like to thank the VRI representative here, Todd Post, the chief operator. That's about half of when I started here. That's how much they've corrected leaks, dug into the infrastructure and the water system and improved it. it's down, you know, we were losing 400, almost half of what we were using, more than that. Anyway, they had an open house, which I initiated, and the problem was, the night before, I had to take my wife to the hospital, and I was still there the following day. She was in the hospital for 4 days, she came home for one, went back for one. It's been a nightmare. But anyway, at the open house, there was only 14 residents of Hollow Falls that showed up there. Ron was one of them, which I was glad to see, somebody I knew there. I didn't get to go, but, you know, it was a great idea. And at that, there, you could have asked all the questions you wanted about those filters and stuff. And if we have time, I'd like Taylor to just explain a little bit about those filters. Because those filters, from what I understand, are original from when we had, you know, the plant was built. So we really got our use out of them, but they got clogged up during the major storm we had. That's what that's all about. It's not like you change these things like we do with filters in our house. These are probably 70 years old. Now, let's see, we've had a couple of digs. They had to dig markouts on 55 West Street and 50 Laurel for, you know, leaks there. That was this past week. The high school had one. That was a nice accomplishment they did about a month ago. They saved 100,000 gallons a day was leaking out of there. So they're busy, they're doing their job. Everybody's kind of trying to put them down. These guys, to me, are worth their weight in gold. Okay, so, we go to this. The water level out at Bog Meadow is at 55%. That's up from 50%. Spillway at Lower Bog Meadow is covered in ice. Jim's Pond, the water's even with the spillway. We're in good shape. The water flow is 1/2 inch above, over the dam on the 9W reservoir. What's up, what they have in the weeks ahead, install a new pressure reducing valve at the storage tank. Update main control panel PLC when approved. Order new chlorine feed system. I'd like to know a little more about that because I think we're working our way away from the chlorine. Let's see, I think, do we have time to hear from Tyler?
Tyler had a meeting, so we'll get, I have it down, we'll get all these questions answered.
Okay.
Especially about the filter.
Because if we can tell them,
Yeah.
yeah, a little more about the filters. Thank you.
Yes. All right. So the budget workshops, I don't think it was announced. So the budget workshops are actually this week. The first one is going to be tomorrow. There's three scheduled. The budget workshop for tomorrow is at 6 o'clock here, and it's about the police department. And that's part of the general fund. The general fund is almost $6 million, okay? Over $5 million for sure, from what I remember, of what you pay for. So that's going to be talked about tomorrow, and then there's another one on Saturday, March 8th, and I would like to ask the board if we can actually change that to next Saturday, because this coming Saturday, I mean, nobody asked me for dates that I'm available, but I'm actually working. So if we can move it the next Saturday, okay, that would be great. And then there's another one on Tuesday, March 11th, to talk about the DPW. All right, great. So none this Saturday, but next Saturday. Next Saturday for fire, water, and sewer funds.
Just, I don't want to interrupt you, but you said March 15th, no good.
March 15 is good, March 8, no good.
Oh, March 8th, no good.
Yeah. Is that okay?
Yeah,
All right, great.
we'll reschedule.
Okay, budget is very, very important. You know, you guys have to come up for this $17 million in debt that we have, which is 5 times more than what it was 3 years ago, and no, not because of the flood. Okay, you have to come up with $1.5 million a year just to make minimum payments on that $17 million. Okay, and we have a lot more to spend on. We have 2 fire trucks that are very old, and we're gonna have to borrow $1.5 million for that. Okay, we have water filters, we keep talking about that. And the engineer gave us a price of $600,000 each. We have 3 of them. And I think Pablo told you, the flood had nothing to do, and Mr. Dinofre and Mr. Dinofre, nothing to do with the water filters being obsolete. They're over 70 years old. We had it inspected 1 month before the flood, and they told us that needs to be changed. So if you're having trouble with your water, it's for many different reasons, I agree, not just the water filters, but from water leaks, from deteriorating infrastructure under your streets, many other things. I've explained it all before. All right, so please show up at those budget meetings. It's not going to be televised like it is here. You actually have to be there to listen to it. Thank you, Kat, and everybody, for the flowers and the champagne, which I will drink half of it tonight. The 4 years have been really tough, and I'm grateful for the support of the people who really stood by me. And what I think was important in those 4 years, I was tempted to resign. I've been pushed to resign. I told you what they've said about me many times. But I hope that more people are listening, okay? That I'm seeing more people rise up, speak out, and consistently, you know, because I think that is a democratic process. And I think you have to be transparent, and you have to be accountable if you're going to be in this position. It's not a position I chose. I'm a very busy doctor, okay? My husband and I have a couple of businesses. We run those businesses. I really didn't need this on top of my plate, but I did it because you elected me to do it. And I made it a priority to be transparent and fiscally responsible. And I gave you all, from the beginning, many different ways to save money. You could have really, instead of raising your taxes year after year, decreased your taxes by 30%. You know, you could have given this election process not run by this board, but run by Orange County. So, but, you know, when you're 1 voice out of 5, it's very easy to silence you by giving everybody misinformation and just making it look like I'm nuts up here by telling you what I know. So it's been a tough 4 years. So tonight, really just a few more words about this. I really want to address a reality of where we are as a village. The same leadership for many, many years has controlled this board. Yeah. And the results really speak for themselves. You have deteriorating infrastructure. You keep telling us, your water is brown, it doesn't look good. But we keep telling you nothing wrong with it. You know, come to the water plant. It looks great. So what are you guys talking about? They make you sound like you're not looking at the right stuff in your own homes. But your water is brown, or it's over-chlorinated. There's no economic development on Main Street. You know, we've raised your taxes year after year. We've mismanaged your funds. I've been telling you that. $17 million in debt. You know, our debt ceiling, this village has a debt ceiling of $22 million. We're almost there. We're almost there. We're gonna get there. Okay, but now, instead of taking responsibility for all these failures, Mr. D'Onofrio and Mr. DeSalvo orchestrated this bait and switch on you. Election time is coming, right? Election in 2 weeks. Mr. D'Onofrio, all of a sudden on the paper said, even though they went around with petition papers with his name on it, he says, no, I'm not going to run for re-election. I'm going to have my pupil and my best friend, Mr. DeSalvo, run in my place. And they didn't even have to go around and get more petitions. They planned it all the while. Okay, and Mr. DeSalvo, let me tell you, he's the very person who has been directly involved in the financial mismanagement.
Okay, I'm gonna move on because that's not gonna be.
It's her last meeting.
Jim, it's your turn.
I can tell
We're
you.
not gonna start
This is not change.
being negative towards board members.
She's telling the truth.
All right?
Let her speak.
I don't even what you said. Go ahead.
She was elected.
No,
Yes.
she's done.
She was elected.
Yes, this is.
Okay, thank you very
this-
much.
No, not thank you very much.
You can keep talking.
Thank you very much.
Okay, I am speaking for the
Don't
people and
talk
this is
ill
my
of fellow
chance.
board members, they don't
So,
talk ill of you.
people, please, are
Don't be
you kidding
rude
me?
to a veteran.
That's a big lie. Okay, so
Don't
if
be
you want real
rude to a
change,
veteran.
if you
You
want
get
real
up and you look
change,
at the flag, and then you act this way
Listen,
to a veteran?
Could you ask him to, he's out of line.
no,
Ask
he's
him right
not
now.
out of line, you're out of line, you're
He's not
interrupting
breaking
me,
the law.
I'm speaking.
Okay, zip it.
Mr. Lilos, Officer Lilos, I'm speaking, he's interrupting me. So it's not the citizens who are at fault, that's an unlawful order he's giving you.
Thank you.
All right?
It's not your personal security, Joe.
Okay, these two people, they're desperate to hold on to power, okay? And you guys really deserve better than this. So what you need, if you want change, you want a majority on this board, okay? You want to vote for a team, okay? You want to vote for a team who actually show up, who are not afraid to speak up. Okay? And that team is on the ballot. It's we the people. So vote. Vote, use your power to vote. Everybody come out, tell your neighbors to come out and vote. The choice is yours if you really want to make change. Lastly, the building department report. Okay, everybody already knows that Mr. Hannibal is recuperating from a medical, from surgery. The town has hired a part-time code enforcer in the interim. It's kind of temporary. Mr. Moses Pavon, and there's Richie Sullivan really was working a lot with him, even through the hiring process. There's a lot of projects, about 15 projects that are on the table that need to move forward. One of them is Park Restaurant that they're trying to reopen, and Westies that hopefully will open in the summer, and that's good for Main Street. So for the month of February, there really wasn't a lot of things that happened. There were only 11 permit applications and 6 permits that were issued, 8 building permit inspections done, and 1 zoning variance application received. Many are already aware that 427 Main, the building that we used to own, the commercial part is being renovated. So hopefully Westies will open by summer. That's all I have.
Ken?
Okay. I'll try to be as brief as possible with trying to answer some of the questions. I don't think I've ever had a conversation with Mr. Polito about the filters at the plant. My conversations with Mr. Polito have always been extremely limited, for good reason. No one has ever said or didn't want to address anybody's dirty water. What we've talked to the water department, VRI, what we talked to the county, even Mr. Carroll, myself, the mayor, Mr. Ramos, we understand that they're aging pipes. We know we have to replace them. We know we have to come up with a plan to do that. It costs money. Not that we're not going to do it, but we have to do it. it was said that we could have had voting done by the county, or that we could not have a village. It could be all one, the town, and that the board decided on the voting. We didn't decide the voting. The folks, the electorate did. You guys voted on not sending the voting for the village elections to the county. The people did. The people also decided to keep the village of Highland Falls, not the board. Not the board.
Our votes went into garbage bills.
The people decided to keep the village, okay? The overtime that was mentioned before about the police department's inaccurate. In the budget this year is $80,000. That does not represent half. It doesn't represent 80%. It doesn't represent 40%. If, for any reason, the budget line for overtime goes over, it's because we have a lack of personnel, usually, if it's excessive, and so then we're saving in the personal services line. That offsets that cost. It's just not an argument. This is just black and white. Interesting comment about the village, the garbage can that the town deals with. When the town deals with it, it's done in 2 months. I only wish that the code enforcement was that quick too. We've said here time and time again that Phil Hannawalt is a great person and was doing a great job. I hope he has a speedy recovery. Nobody can argue his dedication and his enthusiasm in that position. We never stated that for a second. But we have a consolidated service. In fact, the prior administration would hang their hat on consolidation, consolidation. We have a consolidated service, and the village, who says plainly in the contract, we will have no costs to have to do with building department and code enforcement. The village will bear no costs, the town will. And we do meet regularly with the supervisor. We met regularly a month and a half ago, where we talked about these issues. It doesn't have to be a meeting in Village Hall or Town Hall. We bump into each other. I see Richie Sullivan, or we talk to Richie Sullivan regularly. So, again, it's not a question of we're ignoring you, or if I'm playing with a paperclip, listening to you, I can listen to you and play with a paperclip. I don't think that's fair. And the comment about children, nobody wants, I don't think during any type of heat wave, was there any reports from the police department or otherwise that there were kids dropping up at the field?
The problem is there's no water there for them.
The water fountain was shut down.
Don't even do that, make it okay.
The water fountain started to get shut down during COVID, and then we heard from the department head that we don't want to deal with getting it tested. I, for one, wanted to either say taken out or replaced. We could do either one. As a board, we could decide. A couple other quick things. The filters at the water plant. The filters at the water plant, the study that was done that the village paid for and authorized was to study the aggregate and the filters and the holding tanks at the water plant. Under the water plant, in addition to the filters, there are holding tanks for water. Okay? All of it was part of the study. All of it got affected by the storm. Now, the aggregate in the filters was there for 70 years. Nobody's denying that. Nobody's denying that part. The $400,000 per filter number is what it says in the up to 400. We don't know until we get the aggregate out of there and we get to see the condition of the filter itself. Now the filter is the whole mechanism, the whole unit. It's the concrete, it's the steel inside, it's where the aggregate sits. It's up to $400,000 per filter, and there's 3 of them, not 4. So again, we're not 100% sure until we get there. The reason why we move funds over from water to general was because right now, that was from FEMA dollars. It wasn't just capital that we borrowed, it's FEMA money that we are using for other projects as we move forward down the line. Because as you know, if you turn the TV on, FEMA right now is at a complete standstill nationwide. Why, I don't know. That's them. And we're going to have to go public at some point. We are going to have to go public at some point in this community because I feel that we have been forgotten. Whether we've gone through an audit or we've gone through all this other nonsense, which we went through. We went through an audit. We went through all this other nonsense. At the end of the day, this community needs the money because we've got to fix it and move on. So eventually we're going to have to go public. because we've gone to our state representatives. We've gone to our federal representatives, and we're getting nowhere. Nobody knows what's going on. You call the state, they say it's the federal. You call the federal, they say it's the state. It's ridiculous.
Fort Montgomery's fixed.
No, it's not. Fort
Yeah, it
Montgomery's
is.
still getting fixed. That's not accurate.
Complete
FEMA
road
is
washed
paying
away.
Fort
And the last thing I'll mention is,
Montgomery. They never
the last
stopped
thing I'll
paying
mention,
Fort
Still getting
Montgomery.
audited.
the last thing I'll
They
mention,
stopped paying
the
us.
last thing I'll mention is the budget and the debt. This board, including Ms. Guerrera, has approved in the last 4 years, which included a water project and drainage project in Ondera Park, and the money from the flood, which represents $6 million of the 17, of the authorized money that was authorized under the previous administration for the water and the drainage project of roughly $10 million. There's no getting around that. No one's denying that. But of the 10 million that got added on, 6 of it's representative from the FEMA dollars. That was our contribution, whether we liked it or not. So you can't say that it's not part of the debt when it is. My general fund is only $6 million, $6.2 million. If you think that we can absorb that cost, even if I get rid of if I get rid of the dispatch, that money doesn't get to go to pay for other things. It goes back to you as the taxpayer because I'm reducing your services now. So I appreciate that we have other folks come in here, Orange County, apples and cucumbers, not even close to being the same. The county gets so much generated income from sales tax, it'll blow your mind. So we are going to try as hard as we can to stay under the tax cap. I'd like to have a 0% increase. So far, things look good at the budget, on the budget level, from my preliminary looking at it. Water and sewer look like they're in good shape with no increase. So as we get into the general fund, we're going to look at it. And I'm sure the board will have things they want to cut. They'll have things they may want to add. And then we'll present it to you, the community, to listen to and hear and question and have a public hearing and go through that process. I do appreciate your service to the country, Melanie. It's been a fantastic 4 years, and I appreciate you for keeping me on my toes. And it's been a pleasure. With that, a motion to adjourn.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?